My name is Philip Lee, and we're at Starting Strength Austin. I was interested in getting stronger. I actually owned the Blue Book, went through the LP, was hooked, and been here ever since, but it's been about 16 months. I have been into cycling off and on about the last 15 years. I decided that I wanted to take it seriously and get into racing about 16 months ago. The type of racing I'm really interested in getting into, to win, you've got to have a really good sprint. There's generate a lot of power towards the end of the race, and strength just made sense. Building up strength builds up your sprinting power, and yeah, I've seen, over the last year, I've seen my sprint numbers just rise up 50-60%. I'm the strongest I've ever been, and I could not imagine getting to this point even a year ago, right? I mean, just the idea of being able to squat 1 plate or 2 plates or even 3 plates, that just seemed unfathomable when I first started this. So it's been really cool. I'm here at the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then for cycling, I do that Tuesday, Thursday are my intensity days, and then the weekends are my long, slow endurance rides. This would be much more difficult if I didn't have a good fueling strategy, and being able to prioritize protein intake, the carb intake, minimizing your fat. I think those are really important to keep up with the demands of both sports. I gained about 30 pounds from when I started. Around Christmas of last year, 23, I was the heaviest I'd ever been, but also the strongest I'd ever been. And then since the turn of the year, I really focused on losing weight. So I'm about 20 pounds down from where I was, and only lost about 10% of my strength. But I'd imagine I'll hopefully get that back over time. I think running is great. I think endurance sports are great. That really helps build mitochondrial density. But those mitochondria is going to have a place to live in, right? So if you don't have muscle, or if you don't have sufficient lean mass, you're going to limit yourself. It's important to kind of build muscle and retain that for as long as you can, especially if you're younger. I think a lot of people will say that they've been a better runner. I mean, their endurance has been improved since they've been working on gaining muscle. I mean, you don't have to be, like a freak strength athlete, but, more muscle is not necessarily a bad thing. I've had a lot of events in 2023, and so I'll just have to tell the coach ahead of time, hey, I have an event this Saturday, and they'll work with me on the programming and change it up for that week, and so that way I can go into the event as fresh as I can. And then as soon as we get back the following week, they'll kind of taper me back up, and then within a week or two, I'm back to my normal programming. I've been to the big gyms. I didn't know what programming was. I just went and got under the bench, and it just collapsed on my chest, and so the term programming did not make sense to me. And then before you know it, after my intro class, they said, you're going to do this 3x5 and go 5 pounds every time. And over time, that started doing that time. So then, of course, you can't LP anymore. So they have to change it. Wednesdays are light days. Again, there's a Texas method. And so it's great to have a professional be able to kind of work all that out for you, so you don't have to guess at what you're supposed to do, and also push you, make sure you're continuing to get stronger over time. Starting Strength has definitely made me a better cyclist. I could not imagine being able to output like 1,000 watts as early as I started, right? The idea of getting over 1,000 was phenomenal. I don't have a benchmark to compare that to, but being able to look at my power numbers and say, oh shit, it just went over 1,000. Eventually it was shoot for 1,100, then shoot for 1,200. I think my next target's 1,500. I'm only 16 months in, so I hope to get really close to 2,000, and I think I can do that. I'd like to be at a level of competition where I can travel around the country, and if I could podium, that'd be great. If I could win, that'd be even better. But if I can just keep up with the crowd and just be able to travel around the country and do that, I think I'd be really happy with that. Just trust the process, trust the coaches. You'll accomplish more than you thought was possible. And have fun.